Hey guys, you're watching Organic and this is the 10 tips you need to buy a new smartphone or upgrade your old one. There are a few tips that you have to follow or abide by. They're like standards that you have to follow before you buy a phone. So I'm going to quickly go through all of them and make some suggestions. First, the most important tip is prioritize. You should know what you want to buy. Don't buy a phone just because you know everyone's buying it. Buy a phone. When you're buying a phone, prioritize. Know what you want. Examples of prioritizing is do you want battery life? You're going to watch videos, so do you want a larger battery life? Or you're going to play a lot of games, you need battery life and good performance, and there should be no thermal issues and stuff like that. So you need to prioritize. You should know what you want so that you can categorize the different types of phones into smaller categories. Some people just like to buy smartphones because they look good. They just want to make calls, they just want to use WhatsApp messages and stuff like that, Instagram. So those people would like to go by looks on how a smartphone looks like. Example, the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max looks a little better than the Realme 6 Pro. I know a lot of you might not agree, but that's my preference. So that's looks of a phone. I'd like to make this clear. Have a budget. Know what is the maximum price that you're going to spend on a phone. For example, you would like to spend only 16,000 rupees on a phone. Don't overspend. Maybe 500 rupees, 1000 rupees more than your budget is fine. 2000 max. More than 2000 more than your budget is max. Don't go over that just because the phone is a little better. At your budget smartphone range, 2000 rupees, 3000 rupees won't get you any better. So it's better to stick to your budget. Battery capacity. I mean, a lot of people might not understand this, but it's simple. The bigger the better. It's actually like that, but there are other characteristics and other things that come into play, but mainly bigger is better. Battery life. So you measure the battery capacity in milliamp hour, and usually the Android phones that come today in the market is usually from 4000 to 6000 actually milliamp hours. 4000 is fine. You don't have to lament that you don't have 6000 milliamp hour phone, you have a 5000. It doesn't matter. 4000 to 6000, anything is fine. With that, you need to check the refresh rate. If the refresh rate is more than 60 Hz, then you need to have a bigger battery capacity, like 5000 milliamp hour, 5500, 6000 maybe. I mean, a lot of phones support fast charging, but they don't come with a fast charger. That's something you have to look before buying a phone. So an example of it is the iPhone. The iPhone supports 15 watt charging, but the charger that comes in the case is only 5 watts. So that's a real bummer. So you need to check all of these small details before buying a phone. Third thing is refresh rate and / display. IPS LCD is fine. Most 90% of phones are IPS LCD. AMOLEDs are good, they're better, but IPS LCD is fine for now. The refresh rate, when it comes to that, it depends on what you want. If you're willing to spend that extra money, you can buy a phone that's 90 Hz. 120 Hz, you won't be able to make out the difference, so it's of no use. That's my suggestion. 120 Hz is of no use. It is a jump from 60 to 120. Very important. The fourth thing that you have to look out for is the camera. I'm sure many of us, majority of us, click photos only through our cameras, smartphone cameras. Not everyone has a good digital camera or DSLR or whatever, bridge camera. So phone cameras are actually very important. The one thing I would like to tell is pixels don't matter. Pixels don't matter. iPhone 11, 12 megapixel cameras. Does that mean it's a bad phone? I mean bad camera? No, it's not. It's better than the Xiaomi's 108 megapixel. It's sometimes better than the Samsung S20 Ultra's 108 megapixel camera. So megapixels don't usually matter, but more megapixels means you can zoom into it and you still have a lot of clarity. But overall, the photo, it depends on the processor. The other thing is the sensor, how big the sensor is, the size, and again it comes to software. For example, Apple has amazing camera software. That's why even at a 12 megapixel camera sensor, it gives you amazing photos. Whereas Xiaomi's 108 megapixel camera is no way as versatile as the iPhone's 12 megapixel camera. So pixels don't matter. And so you might ask, so how do I judge two different smartphone cameras when both of them are 64 or both of them are 48 or both of them are 32? This is where camera samples come in. Every phone has a camera sample test or camera test on YouTube. You can check out plenty of videos, watch more than 3-4 videos of each phone. There's comparisons. So based on that, you have to make your choice. Every phone has a camera sample test or camera test on YouTube. You can check out plenty of videos, watch more than 3-4 videos of each phone. There's comparisons. So based on that, you have to make your choice. Is RAM. There's a lot of hype around RAM. Again, it depends on your phone. For example, iPhones don't need a lot of RAM. iPhone 11 actually has only 3 GBs of memory. Yeah, most of you are like, what? That's just cheap. No, iOS is so well optimized that it can function very well, way better than most phones. Even if phones are 6 GB, 8 GB, iPhones can outperform them because the software, the operating system is well optimized for those 3 GB of RAM. They don't need 12 gigabytes, they don't need 8 gigabytes GB. They're just a marketing hype. So 4 is the standard for Android phones. 4 is the standard. Nothing below 4. Don't take anything below 4 unless you don't use your phone. Yeah, if you only use your phone for calling or something, 3 GB is fine. 3 gigabytes is fine. Anything other than that, you want to use your reminder calendar, you want to take a lot of photos, you want to use your Gmail, you need to have a minimum of 4 gigabytes of RAM. Minimum. 6, 8, that's your preference. And another thing about RAM is you have to check the generation of RAM. So you don't get this on the phone's, the official page of the phone, smartphone. You do get this on review videos like mine or any other review videos like Geeky Ranjit or something like that. Go check out. UFS 2.0 is decent, but you get UFS 2.1 at budget prices. You don't get UFS 3.0. UFS 2.1 you get. Check out for that. And the UFS 2.1 is faster than UFS 2.0. That's something you need to understand, and based on that, make your choices. Processors. MediaTek processors are decent. The other chips are okay, they're not great, but MediaTek's G90T is a very good chip. It's equivalent to Snapdragon 700 series, 720, 720G. Another thing in Snapdragon, Qualcomm Snapdragons, anything from 600 to 650 is the same, 650 to 700 is the same, 700 to 750 is the same. Slight minor differences, doesn't matter. 700 is okay, 720, 720G, 730, 730G, all are the same. Don't worry too much about those. Snapdragon processors can get good photos. MediaTek is not popular for camera processing, especially camera processing. Everything else is fine. MediaTek is good for games and stuff. Snapdragon, okay, but Snapdragon is more popular for the photography. 5G. Now this is another marketing hype, I would like to say, but depends on how long you use your phone for. Now Redmi has its Redmi 10X is 5G. It's cheap, you can buy it, but 5G is not going to be of any use to Indians in the next 3 to 4 years for sure. 3 years 5G will be there in India, but me and you, we won't use it because it'll be costly. So it'll take 5 years. I'm telling you, it'll take 5 years for 5G to properly come to the Indian masses. So if you're going to keep your phone for 5 years, I'm sure Android users won't agree with me. iPhone users, yeah, you can keep your phone for 5 years. You can buy the new iPhone 12, which is coming out in September or October. You can keep it for 5 years. There's going to be a 5G model. Android phone users, I don't think anyone's going to use their phones for more than 5 years, so there's no point really. Another thing about refresh rates is many people say you don't need a fast refresh rate because there are no apps to support it. Well, Fortnite supports it, and many other apps are supporting 90 Hz and 120 Hz. So it's a good investment. Unlike 5G, it's a good investment. In the next year or next 1.5 years, majority of apps will support 90 Hz and 120 Hz. So that is a good bet and an investment, good investment. 5G, no, it's not yet at least. Eighth and the last thing that you have to look out for is whether the smartphone company brand is going to give you regular software updates and security patches. For iPhone users or people who are looking for iPhones, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to get software updates for 5 to 6 years. Sure, 5 to 6 years, 100%. Samsung, they're not reputable. They don't have a good reputation or track records. They give software updates for a year and then it's your luck. Xiaomi is also not pretty famous. OnePlus gives software updates for about 3 years, 3 years. Yeah. So that's another thing you have to look out for when you're buying a new phone. Turn on the notification button so that you can watch our videos as soon as we post it.